That did.
I'm watching football, sorry.
Oh, I see how you are.
Did he say he has flatulence?
Oh, he's watching football.
Oh, he's supposed to be doing a show.
So are you?
Yeah, well, listen.
I'm not watching anything. Look,
Listen,
TV's off.
see, I can respect Matt's dedication to his sport that he enjoys.
See, at first I thought Chris was just doing a voice, but he's not.
What?
Let's talk. Talk a little bit.
Talk a little bit.
Yeah.
Am I just doing a voice?
Yeah, your microphone is making your voice sound really deep. It's actually good for radio.
Again?
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
It wasn't before you hit that live button. Well,
it wasn't before the live button.
A little bit.
All right. Well,
no, but now it is.
But no.
Oh, when you make
give
it deep.
back to you.
When you make it deep, it's even funnier.
Fuck. I got shit going everywhere.
Maybe it's just us because Phil says it's normal.
Phil says it's normal?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
as normal as you are.
All right. Well, anyhow, I dumped something on the fucking floor. I don't know what it was, man. Something went flying. Something went flying, Steve. What am I gonna do?
Can you hear me now?
How do I get rid of Steve's screen? You got to take that off. It's down below. I can't get rid of it, Steve.
Can you hear me?
I'm kicking it from the studio. Can I hear you? Yeah.
Well, I thought I hit the mute button when I was adjusting my Yeti X. Right. I should get a sponsorship from Yeti.
Good luck.
Yeah, let's start this wonderful broadcast, Steve.
Okay. Oh,
okay. Yeah. It's helpful if you do that, Steve. It helps.
Once a week, three laddies come together from distant lands to talk about Bigfoot, Martians, ghosts, time travel, chupacabras, and the Sweetwater legend.
I think we're all huge fans of this.
This is the Fortean Slip. With your host, Chris York.
Say no to Quaaludes? Fuck no. Wait a minute. No. Say yes.
Co-host, Steve Alcorn.
I take a break, shut my camera off, go have a sandwich.
And sometimes, special guest, Matt Knapp.
Just accept it for what it is and just watch it and enjoy it.
They don't know who you are. They don't know what you want. If you're looking for entertainment, you may have come to the wrong podcast. What they do have is a very particular set of skills.
There are no cows.
No cows?
No.
No cows were harmed in the making of this incident. We often wish that your relationship went much like that of the praying mantis.
I thought that was a reference to everything being green.
Yeah, sure you did. Carry on, gentlemen. I'm going to do something else for a little while.
Wow, Steve, would you like us to stop the program so you continue to do your shit?
You're about to witness the strength of creep knowledge.
Good evening, and welcome to the Fortean Slip. This is episode 111. Richard is a cunt.
That's the name of the episode?
Tonight we'll be talking about all the reasons Richard is a big fucking cunt. Oh, we lost Matt. Matt wants out of the conversation of Richard being a cunt. I thought he would want in personal.
Wow, he took exception to that, didn't he?
He took some very big exception to that Richard is a cunt. Actually, I'm going to assume no. Either his team just scored and he accidentally hit the wrong fucking thing. I don't know what the
we'll
fuck
soon
happened.
find out. If he doesn't come back in, then maybe we've lost.
Oh yeah, or he'll message me or something. You know, maybe a tornado watch ran through his area. I don't fucking know. Welcome to the Fortean Slip. Yes. Like did I relay the Richard is an asshole story to everybody?
I don't know. I don't recall.
I was wondering if I did, Matt, do you remember if I ever relayed the Richard is a douchebag story? You know which one I'm talking about.
I think you should go ahead and do it.
I think, all right. So this guy on the Fortean Slip on the like page leaves like this comment about how British people are pedophiles, you know, and like all of this shit because of the whole Epstein thing. Like he's bitching about me posting the Epstein memes. And I'm like, you want to trash some fucking British people? I got like the biggest British troll asshole in my back pocket, Richard Allen. So I hit up my buddy Richard Allen. Like, Richard, check this fucking shit out. Check out what this motherfucker's saying. His response on the post was, and I quote, "Hey man, the guy that runs this page is American." And his response to me was, "Hey, he's not wrong."
About the British people all being pedophiles? Like the whole nation? All of them?
I guess so.
Huh.
I guess so.
So
I don't know. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
And he's decided to be a trolling cunt. So I've decided that Richard Allen's a fucking cunt.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll give up eventually, Richard. Trust me.
Yeah.
After I hurt your feelings, it'll happen. Anywho, tonight we are talking about people who vanished without a trace. Steve, vanished.
I've done that.
You did?
Yeah, I've done that before.
Like completely vanished without a trace?
Well, I mean, I knew where I was.
Nobody else did, though.
Nobody else did.
No, yeah, that's different. That's different.
Oh,
Well, kind of different because you showed back up.
yeah.
Eventually.
Can't reappear.
Did you run out of ding dongs and ho hos?
Yeah. Had to come down and rummage through somebody's cabin.
I gotta go home, man. I'm a little
Hey,
hungry.
man, there's something to that shit. I read an article today that Warren Buffett, I assume everybody knows who Warren Buffett is.
Yeah, Warren Buffett. Yeah,
Drinks-
he's an investor.
Yeah, he drinks 5 cans of Coke a day.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
before that, he was drinking Pepsi every day.
People can't tell me shit about being healthy. Okay, and here's why. My grandmother lived to be 91. And while she didn't smoke and drink or anything like that, she ate whatever the fuck she wanted. And I mean, drank coffee, drank tea, ate whatever, and died of lung cancer at 91.
Didn't even smoke.
Didn't even smoke.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
None of it makes any fucking sense, dude. You know, and then you get these fucking people who are, you know, health nuts who run and then they die like a fucking heart attack or something.
Yeah.
You know, or brain embolism or, you know, some weird shit that just fucking kills them out of nowhere. But they've been taking care of themselves their whole life. Eating kale, you know, eating fucking seaweed and drinking kale shakes and fucking
What a wasted life.
coffee enemas.
There's Nothing
just
wrong
eat
with
my.
a good coffee enema.
I'll eat my cheeseburgers and I'll be happy.
I mean, it's just it really is weird if you think about it. Like some people just look at some of those people who live, to be in their hundreds, and they have a cigarette every day and a drink.
Yeah.
Fucking George Burns, man. How long did he live? And you never saw the guy without a
George
cigar.
Burns was my fucking hero.
Yeah, you never saw the guy.
Oh God, book 2. Oh God, you devil. Come on now. That's right in my wheelhouse, Steve. John Denver in the very first movie was great.
I have to go back and watch him. It's been, geez, I was a kid.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've seen him. I know that. I remember the one that I saw the most of was Oh God, You Devil, where he played both God and Satan. That was interesting. And that was like one of the first times they had done shit like that, like really well, like filmed, the same person on screen at the same time like that. I mean, they'd done it, but not quite as seamless as they did in this one. And of course, since then, they've done all kinds of that shit.
The dude was like 106 when I was born.
Yeah, no shit, right?
I mean, you can like honestly say like that man never aged a day in his life. He just always looked fucking immortal.
Matt, I want you to remember something about George Burns right now. He did talk radio, and when I say talk radio, I don't mean Howard Stern.
Right.
I mean when people used to sit around the radio and listen to radio shows.
Drink your Ovaltine, kids.
Yes. Yeah. There's fucking George and Gracie, I think.
Gracie
was the one that he did. Fucking radio. That's how old George Burns was.
Skookum
cigarettes. I fucking love that old shit though. Like George Burns.
Yeah.
I mean, people can say whatever the fuck they want. My cousin used to give me shit all the time because I was a fan of Johnny Carson.
Oh, well,
and it's like,
Johnny
fuck you,
great.
dude. Johnny was a comedian's comic.
Fucking
people who understood comedy loved him. Carson was great. I loved Bob Hope. All those old guys. That was really big when I was young.
It was great. The day
George Burns and Gracie Allen. Fucking there's Phil for the win. Tonight, Phil, I give you a pass.
We're not going down that road. Whenever it comes to that whole era of life, Phil would smoke us all in trivia.
Oh, fuck yeah.
He's old.
He was alive.
He still lives there.
Phil was alive when they first made A1 steak sauce during the Civil War.
Whenever you meet Phil in person, he's in black and white.
Yeah. He eventually changes to color. It's true, Steve.
I believe you.
Completely true. You have to drink a lot for it to happen, but eventually the color comes back into it.
And then right at the end, it goes back to black and white.
I know that when you're around Phil, there's plenty to drink. So, if he leaves you any, but
yeah, well,
the man has a flask that you could kill somebody with.
Yeah,
seriously, like you could fucking kill somebody with it.
Listen, I was at I just want to say that I was at a wake yesterday, and I saw somebody pull out a flask, and I laughed at them.
Wait, they pulled out a flask at a wake?
Isn't that what you do?
No.
I thought drinking was a big part of a wake.
Yeah, I mean,
really?
I had my flask, Steve, but mine isn't shaped like a flask.
I've never been to a wake where people were drinking.
You've never been to a wake where people are drinking.
Uh-uh.
Okay, so you've just never seen them pulling out the flask and taking halls off it, is what you're telling me.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, people drink at wakes, Steve.
Yeah. I did not know that.
Yeah, I've drank at funerals. and done a few other things. Yeah. They're not any fun.
I live a show.
They're not any fun, Steve. I mean, it's what you do. You know, when you're going through those periods in your life, like a lot of people feel a little more comfortable after they've had a sip of bourbon or, you know, tequila or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen.
I didn't say it didn't happen. I just said that I didn't know it was a thing.
Oh, wait a minute. I got to give this Yowie Channel Central some fucking credit here. So Phil is the drunk guy that does breakdown videos. Oh, my bad. Para breakdown. My bad. Yeah. Phil is the drunk guy that does the breakdown videos. Yowie Channel Central. That is exactly right.
So Yowie Channel Central, is that like where all the Yowie information is housed?
Yes. All Yowie all the time. All Yowie all the time. I want to give some credit to Bearded Picker. Damn, Steve decorated the office.
Steve did not decorate the office.
Technically, no Bearded Picker. His wife decorated the office. Thanks for showing up, buddy. Thanks for showing up.
He did not. Steve did not even know that door was decorated until I closed it to do the show, and then I was surprised.
The Bearded Picker was listening to my Slip Into the Night show yesterday morning.
Oh, was he? Was it any good?
Yes.
I don't listen to it.
Was the show good, or was he good on the show?
Well, he wasn't on the show. He was just in the chat, right?
I always try to include him, Steve. He tries to belittle you in any way possible. He's on my list of people to bring into the show.
You heard that here first, folks.
That's right.
Yeah.
Steve, what am I supposed to do?
Can I stay off that show?
Which
there's two worlds. I live in two different worlds: the Fortean Slip world and the morning show world. And those two worlds were never supposed to meet, and they are. And it's
that's not my problem.
It's some sort of weird, I don't know,
Steve. Just because you introduced those people to this show, that is not my problem. Hey, why don't you show the fans out there your new coffee mug? I think you should.
I mean, this one?
I think you should show them the other side, Steve. No. You're getting hot there, Steve.
There you go, folks.
People. Look at that. Look at what somebody sent old Steve. The Sweetwater Legend coffee mug. You gotta like that shit.
If you would like one, send me $29.95 via PayPal, and I'll figure out how to make
that one.
No, I won't send you this one. This one's mine. This is the original, man. This one's going in the museum someday.
Well, I think if you, like a Kodak or something, if you have pictures that are digital, all you got to do is, it costs you a little bit of money, but yeah.
Yeah, I haven't figured out where you made that yet, but that's pretty cool, actually. It's too small to drink out of. I mean, I'd have that gone in one go.
Yeah, I can't drink out of a regular coffee mug anymore. I need like a travel mug.
So that tells you. Oh, there's coffee.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, Bearded Picker. Chris, you need to see the picture someone made of Steve as the Sweetwater Legend. Whoa.
It was actually based. You remember the drawing Richter did?
Yeah.
The cowboy drawing. It was more based off of that.
Okay.
Okay.
And why aren't you sharing this with us, Steve? Matt, how come you're not berating him right now with me?
I'm ashamed.
I'm feeling a little peaked.
Wait a minute. Is the football game that good?
Well,
I'm not sure that this is a good idea to share this picture. I'm not 100% positive that it's a good idea to share this picture.
Why? Is your fucking cock hanging out in it or what?
No.
Okay, then.
But
I think that somebody needs to get a portrait tattoo of the Sweetwater Legend.
But anyway, if you want to see it, you can hit the share screen thing.
Oh, there it is. Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
The Sweetwater Legend, live from Ram Ranch.
What?
Oh wait, what was that?
Whoa! No, you go back. You go back. You done fucked up now.
I lost it already.
You
Oh.
rewind that. That sure did look like an awful lot of Christmas decorations in that background.
Yeah, it did.
Somebody asked me to
It
do a
did,
Christmas.
Steve.
Somebody asked me to do a Christmas message for their YouTube channel, and I did, and that was the
You're getting like
OBS
guest spot requests.
There is no gay in Sweetwater.
How do you know? And what would be wrong with there being a little bit of gay in some Sweetwater?
There isn't any, because I'm not, and I am Sweetwater. So there we go.
So is the taffy.
I have no idea what the basis of the photo was. Well, I know what the basis. I mean, that was our beard. That was a beard contest photo, but I have no idea why this person made it. I still don't even know who the person was. I don't know who the person was.
Excuse me. You're full of shit.
It's a mystery.
It's not a mystery to you.
What was their
Actually,
email
they
address?
used a fake name when they chatted on Facebook, so I have no idea who they really
What
are.
fake name did they use?
Yeah,
I can't remember. It's been
we
years.
could find out.
It's been years. I can't remember the name, but
I'll bet you we could figure out who it is, Steve.
yeah, well,
I
I
think we should
tried.
go back and do
But,
some.
who made the picture you just showed?
I don't know. Bearded Picker would have to tell you. He's the one who sent it to me.
Mm.
Well,
Bearded
maybe he
Picker,
did.
we need to
Need some
have an
info.
in on this.
He just said somebody sent that picture to me.
Somebody. Oh, I see. Well, hey, if somebody wants to come forward,
I don't think it was a fan of this show.
I think that somebody should come gay up the Fortean Slip photos. That's what I think. I think they should put all three of us together. Nice.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm not okay
Yeah,
with
that's
that.
what I think. That's what I think. I think you gay that shit up. We need to be a little LGBTQ, whatever the fuck it is, friendly. We need a little bit. I'm all for the gays, Steve. Just because you want to fucking closet yourself, I think your wife would be completely accepting.
I don't think she'd be accepting at all. I think I'd be looking for a new place to live.
I mean, it's not so
Steve would
much
be
the
like-
homosexuality aspect as it is gaying up with you and Steve.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, can I be gay with somebody else?
He would be like that guy in the staircase. No, she knew. She knew all along. My favorite part of that is when he comes in, he's like, "Yeah, I spoke to this guy, and he said that you and he had a homosexual relationship." What? His voice goes up fucking like 5 octaves. That pretty much means you're guilty, dude. You were sucking some dick. I love that documentary. Great documentary. Have you ever seen that one, Steve?
What's it called?
The Staircase.
No.
It's one of those crime documentaries. Yeah.
Surprised I haven't, because that's what all my wife watches is crime shit.
Yeah.
She likes Joe Kenna. I think that's his name.
And I didn't necessarily mean, Matt, that we should all be gaying it up together. I wasn't asking him to do a lemon party picture of the fucking three of us.
That's what it
What I
sounded
was
like.
saying.
Yeah, it did sound-
No. What I was saying was, you can go ahead and like take the Fortean Slip characters, the three of us, and gay us up in an image, but not like, I'm not saying like fucking one of us bent over, the other one fucking giving it, and
Oh,
no.
There are
Although if you want to do that,
there are 4 Fortean Slip characters.
Katie likes to be.
Why would you leave her out of this gay
Listen,
thing?
she's not, because if we were going to gay it up, she wouldn't be having a part of our fucking situation.
Maybe she
Now,
likes
would
to
you?
watch it.
What? No.
God,
I don't think anybody would like to watch that.
Yeah. I'm pretty open to shit, and I wouldn't want to watch it.
I'm just saying, maybe. I don't know. You're excluding her.
I'm all right with that, Steve.
Right. I didn't want you to feel left out.
Well, thank you.
There.
Yeah. Yeah. Oof.
But if it happens, I would prefer my visage to be a leather daddy.
Leather daddy.
Just saying.
Maybe we can get Fred Dunn to do us like the Village People.
Yeah.
I would be okay with that.
Okay.
Of course, I'd be the cowboy. I mean, I already got my role.
Yeah, you do. You've got your role, all right. Sometimes I wish you'd slow it. That's just me. Anyway. Oh, what a fucking week. How was everybody's Thanksgiving? Don't everybody fucking talk at once. Jesus Christ.
Same as always.
Yeah. It's not exactly like my favorite holiday. Like, it's not like, when I think of Thanksgiving, like, I don't like think of, like, you know, sweet time, homey life, going home to see the family type shit. I just don't. Has never been one of those holidays for me. But you know, I'd say in recent years it's gotten a little better, and a nice little Thanksgiving.
I had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I make the turkey every year.
Yeah.
Beautiful bird this year.
Well, you're
still
a good
eating
guy
it
like
too.
that, Steve. I hear you cook a pretty good bird.
I do. Yes, I do. That's the only thing I cook all year.
Yeah.
I cook the bird.
Matt, do you cook the shit on Thanksgiving?
I would say I direct.
Yeah. I know you used to. I know when I used to talk to you, you used to do a lot of the cooking.
Yeah, I'm more of a head chef figure at this point.
Yeah.
I put my time in, and I tend to sleep through Thanksgiving morning. So if it were left up to me, we'd be eating at like 9, 10 o'clock at night. So we usually prep everything the night before.
Right.
And then like Leslie will get up and like put the bird in the oven. We do a classic roasted turkey.
Yeah.
Where most people around these parts do the whole deep fried turkey, you know, out in the driveway. I'm kind of over that whole thing. Like, I've tasted it. I've never personally done it.
Is it good?
Like, yeah. I mean, it's all right. I mean,
not a fan.
Fried poultry, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not, I don't, I prefer it in the oven.
Yeah.
You know, it comes out the way I like it. I've never had it deep fried, so I wouldn't know what it's like. But yeah, I like my fucking turkey on Thanksgiving. And I'm surprised, like, why is it that that's the only time of the year that we're like, hey, let's cook this big ass bird?
Oh, I do it more than once a year.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Why is it that we only make a big deal about, or like we make such a big deal about it once a year, but like turkey's fucking delicious.
Well, I eat a lot of turkey.
I eat a lot of turkey, but I eat a lot of fucking, like, I'll go to the deli and get like the sliced turkey or something. I'm not like cooking turkey at home.
Not like,
but what I'm saying is like
a whole bird,
right? And a lot of people don't. But I mean, Christ, you get a shit ton of meat out of it.
Yeah,
that's all I've eaten.
Damn thing for a week. Yeah,
that's it. That's all I've had. I had 2 bowls of cereal today. Other than that, turkey.
Dude, you know what I ate for lunch today? I sat there and just fucking ate little hunks of friggin' turkey. I was like Neanderthal man. Just fucking.
Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, and it's only because of the turkey.
I just think turkey's great, and I don't understand like why it gets relegated. Like, a lot of people you find don't like, you know, cook turkey throughout the year, which I find funny.
A lot of grocery stores don't sell them throughout.
Of course, Phil Poling, he gets just the breasts.
Oh yeah, it's Phil.
And he cooks it several times a year.
Nothing but the good meat for us.
That's right. Nothing but the best for the pollings. Huh. Right, Lovey? Right.
It's kind of like if you asked, why do people oftentimes only drink on holidays or New Year's Eve? Bill would also have a response for that.
Oh, no. I day drink. No,
What is Phil even doing in the chat? Why is he awake right now? What's going on?
Right? Like what? Yeah, it's been a while since he's been like that active in our chat room. It's very strange.
Very seldom do you see him active during the day.
Yes,
on the internet at least. I know he posts videos and stuff, and like sometimes he's like, you know,
much like a vampire.
I built a new railing for our staircase today, and here's a video.
I don't think he did it in the sun.
No,
I don't believe it. There was
Well,
heavy cloud cover. There's something going on.
He's just getting darker sooner, you know. So maybe in his neck of the woods.
But it's still almost like it's like 3:52 where he's at.
And
it's
no,
not still light out. Is he hiding somewhere? I don't know. Does he listen / watch the show from his coffin?
Does he have window tint on his home windows?
These are things I need to know. I don't think Phil goes out during the day. I don't believe it. Not for a second. I'm pretty sure when I met him, there was heavy cloud cover. There was no sun. And if it came out,
wrapped in scarves and gloves,
if it had come out, he would have sparkled.
I was gonna say that.
What SPF?
Exactly where I was going. I was gonna ask, like, if by chance he had been the first choice for Twilight.
What SPF works for vampires? You know,
Latex.
the sunscreen.
Latex,
really heavy.
Paint.
Yeah. If you watch the original Blade movie, old Steven Dorff layers that shit on. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Blue Cigarettes himself, Steven Dorff. What's the matter, Steve? Steve, you seem a little bit down tonight, buddy. Seem a little bit,
just, you know, I was sleeping before.
Low energy.
Well, I am always low energy.
Steve, I'm thinking we should get you hooked on meth.
You should get me hooked on meth?
Meth. I think meth.
I thought about that once. It came down to a cost.
Listen. I mean, if you want, if you and Marsha, and I mean, I don't mean to like include her, but if you're gonna go down the road, you might as well take her with you. You know, if you guys got onto a nice meth binge, that house would be even more immaculately clean than you already have it.
I wouldn't call it immaculately clean.
It's pretty well clean, Steve.
Well, yeah. I mean,
your wife does a good job because I know it's her and it's not you.
Oh, I don't clean shit.
That's right.
You've seen my office.
Yeah. But you know, you get a good meth addiction. You clean that fucking place.
But it's already clean.
Here's the thing about meth clean. It eventually crosses that line of clean into destroyed.
Yeah.
Like we're just gonna peel all the loose paint off the fucking wall.
Matt, you gotta find that balance.
You gotta
listen,
find
Keith Richards has somehow been able to stay a heroin addict.
True.
We don't know how he does it, but he finds that balance.
He probably has like a heroin chamber that they lock him in, like a werewolf. Like, okay, he's gonna do heroin tonight. Get the chains ready.
Actually, people claim it's because he gets very clean stuff, and that's why that you don't see him going down into the holes that other people on heroin do.
Yeah. That, and he's actually 27.
They've replaced him twice.
Yeah. See, there is actually
listen, man, we need you to be Keith Richards. You're gonna have to do a lot of heroin and play guitar.
Yeah. He gets blood transfusions from a vampire.
Well, that was one of the conspiracies was that he does get blood transfusions, and I would believe that.
Why not?
That he does. Yeah. I mean, he's got the fucking money for that shit. Why not?
Well,
But
not
anyway.
just that, but like, they have that whole connection to the royal family,
Yeah.
So
the prince doesn't sweat, man.
that's for a reason.
He doesn't. He doesn't sweat.
Never let him see it. Isn't the prince about to become king or something? About to like take over? Like Prince Charles is fixing to take over.
Is he really?
Yeah. The queen mother is like, with all this Epstein bullshit, I'm out.
Hey, I mean, good for him, because I mean, honestly, let's look at this whole monarchy bullshit, which it is bullshit at this point. I mean, it's a fucking figurehead they got over there, and it's all fine and good. If they love it, I think some think it's shitty, some love it, whatever the case fucking may be. That fucking, she has just lived. That old bag. Like Charles has been sitting around going, fucking, what the fuck's going on here,
She
Mom?
just keeps getting older.
King.
Like, he went through all that bullshit with his dead wife, ex-wife. He's gone through all this bullshit with who's it? Is he with what? Camilla? No. He's gone through all this fucking horse shit. Throw the guy a bone. Give him a few years as king until he can fucking hand it off to his son.
Because can you imagine? Like, as soon as he was like 5 or 6, they're like, someday, Charles, you're going to grow up and be king. Like,
yeah. And
then and then he's like hitting like 60, and he's like, you said I was going to be fucking king.
How am I going to do this shit? Yeah. That whole thing kind of, it's wacky. And then you get that one that fucking, he was going to be king, and he got hooked up with that American chick, and they fucking said, "Nope, fuck you.
Yep.
You're out.
Yeah. Keep it in the family or else."
You're out. I mean, the whole thing is kind of wacky to me, but I mean, my take on it at this point, big fan of Harry. Big Harry fan. Just in case anybody's wondering. Harry, if you're listening, you ever want to come on the Fortean Slip, buddy? Big fan. Big fan.
Happen to be listening.
No, I mean, Charles,
you'd shit your pants if he's really listening.
Oh, fuck him right, I would. I'd fucking, are you kidding me? I would, like, it would run down my leg like while I was talking to him. No, but Charles has been fucking waiting around. His mother's just been living and living and living. Like, fucking, just, I mean, hang it up. Hang it up. Let your son fucking hang out as king for a little while. And do it just like that. Like, Charles, take over, be king for like fucking 5, maybe 10 years, and then just hand it off to your fucking son, so he can be king for a long time. And that's the way I see it. But I'm not a fan of that whole bullshit that they got over there. I'm not a fan of the bullshit we got here, for Christ's sake. So, anyhow, to get to the topic at hand tonight.
There's a topic?
Yes, Steve. There's a topic.
We talked for 1 hour off topic.
People vanish, Steve. Technically, we've only talked for 38 minutes.
You're
right. They vanish without a trace, Steve. They vanish. They go away. We don't know how. Things happen. But I came across the story right after we were doing the show last week, I think, or like the next day or something. I can't remember when I sent it to Katie. It was early on. I found the story of Kelly Berg Dove. And I'm actually going to, Katie has it in a different order, but I'm going to start with her. Because I had found this case and I thought it was rather interesting. So I'll get right into it because I don't want to say what I had read about the case and then have to reiterate it. But Kelly Berg Dove was 20 years old in June of 1982. She was a young wife and a mother working the night shift at the Imperial gas station in Harrisonburg, Virginia. She had called police to report a strange man harassing her from outside and asked the police to keep an eye on her. A short time later, she called again, this time stating that the man had come into the station dressed improperly. She then called a third time, this time begging for police to come help her. They hadn't come at this point. Begging for her to come help her. She said she had received an obscene phone call and that man was back outside again and reported him to be in a gray or silver Ford vehicle. These phone calls are assumed to be only a few minutes apart, though police have never released the official timeline. More than likely because there was a fuck up on their part.
I'm guessing.
But they do say in a news conference that a deputy arrived at the station just 2 minutes after her third and final phone call, only to find the station completely empty and no sign of Kelly around. Her open magazine and half-smoked cigarette still at the counter. Police theorize it would have only taken someone as little as 15 seconds to abduct her out of the station and force her into a car. After all these years, police have never been able to make an arrest in the case and consider it cold, but still an open case. The interesting points of this case, Kelly's sister also worked at this gas station, and they had a long history of someone making obscene phone calls to this station and even a flasher coming to expose himself somewhat regularly. After Kelly's disappearance, the calls and flashing did stop for several months. One of Kelly's classmates from high school had a criminal record for exposing himself and making obscene phone calls to women. He was also known to drive a silver Ford. He was investigated, but there was no evidence to arrest him. Kelly's family also believes that she would have recognized him and called him out by name when she called 911 if it had been him. And the police had a few individuals suspected to be the above-mentioned men. However, with no evidence from the scene, they just couldn't link them to the crime. Many believe the police know who did it. They just will never be able to prove it enough for the courts. Unfortunately, the gas station was never closed off for investigation that night. No fingerprints, footprints, or anything was even searched for. The family reported searching the field behind the gas station themselves that night, something the police have no records of doing themselves. It seems that if the crime scene was handled properly, this very well could have been solved. Or even more shameful for the police, if a deputy would have been dispatched after her first 911 call, maybe she never would have been taken. Now, this one was one that irritated me, and which was why I jumped on it. Like, immediately. I was just like,
we're fixing to go to town.
We are?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
I just have a feeling you're going to approach it from one direction, and I was about to approach it from another.
No.
Well, we're going to find out.
I think that the cops mishandled it.
I don't.
I do.
First off, it being in Virginia, there's a good chance it's a small town where they were very short-staffed. So they might have had one person on duty that night who might have been busy with a more important call at the time. Might have had other things that they had to do. Might have been out of contact range of the CB radio.
Yeah,
Who knows?
That's all, Matt, that's all very well and good. Now, if that is not the case, okay, if they were properly staffed, and from the way I read the original article that I read, they didn't respond because they basically had dismissed her.
Which could very easily happen as well.
And for them,
I mean, you can't just like.
I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying that this isn't a blanket all cops are bad statement.
No. I'm not taking it that way. I'm just saying, like, I could see where like this could be an unfortunate series of events.
No, most definitely. Yeah, it could be a series of
lone female clerk working at night at a gas station. Some dudes hanging out in the parking lot or whatever. Not necessarily a reason to send a cop out just because she's scared.
They've had a history of this guy coming in and exposing himself. How many calls did they make to the police before that?
That's another thing that should be.
And so, okay, it's just this guy doing it again.
Could be
that kind of thing.
But here's the thing. Would you want to be that cop that showed up?
No.
That's the cold hard fact right there. Would you want to be the fucking cop that showed up late, she's gone, and she never fucking returns to her family?
No, that would be horrible. Just like it
I
would
don't-
be horrible, like if you were the cop that like told the parents, like, sorry, your kid's not missing until tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then the kid is gone.
And
And
they
it
never
happens
see him again.
every day.
Absolutely. Although
there
they've changed shit with missing children. You know, more in recent years than back when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
we'd
it
have
is,
to be
it is
we'd
a
have to be
little
missing
better.
for days.
Yeah.
It
They'd
wouldn't
be like,
matter.
oh, they just ran away again.
Yeah.
They
no,
did mishandle some of this case because
Yeah,
you
I
said they
think it was-
didn't.
Yeah,
Test for
there was no.
fingerprints and all that shit.
Yeah, the crime scene was mishandled. Like there was a lot of mishandling.
Well, how do
And I
you dust
think
for fingerprints at a gas station?
That is also true.
you-
But if they had a
close it
suspect
off
and
and
they
do it.
found,
Yeah,
but
but
if they
there's
had
gonna
a
be like
suspect,
hundreds of sets of fingerprints.
that then you just start eliminating people.
yeah, they had a suspect who exposed himself and made obscene phone calls, that's where I'd start. If his
Yep.
fingerprints match that scene, then you probably got a pretty good case.
Yeah.
You know, if
I mean,
not, then you move to
things
the next
things
guy.
that should have been done that weren't done, and especially, I mean, especially when they say, you know, this is a cold case, but we still consider it open.
When did
like-
it happen?
This was in the 80s. This was 1982.
My mom had a TV stolen out of her house. Just a TV. That's all they took.
Yep.
They came in through her bedroom window and took her living room TV.
Yep.
Cops came in and dusted that fucking place immediately. I mean, that's procedure.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
maybe
I
it
don't. I
wasn't
just don't
in-
understand why things weren't done. But you know, all I can say is that I would not want to be any of those officers or dispatchers that were involved with that night. I wouldn't want to be them.
No, you got to live with that. You got to
Yeah,
live with
the,
that shit.
the main thing that caught my attention is that they think they know who did it, but they have no way to prove it.
Yeah, see that, and
I
that's
think
another.
that,
lesson,
I
too.
think that does happen a lot.
And it does happen a lot in small towns.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we all know someone in the town where we grew up who got away with shit. We all know somebody.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily saying friggin', you know, kidnapping / murder, whatever the hell this.
No,
thing
but
was.
it's a double-edged sword because you have a situation where we have rights, and for somebody to, you know, for law enforcement to arrest us of a crime or whatever, like there has to be rules and regulations in place to make it, you know, supposedly, I know it doesn't happen all the time, but to make sure that they arrest somebody rightful, you know, and
right.
but at the same time, criminals will use the shit out of those to keep themselves out of jail and to keep themselves from
Yes, they
being
will.
arrested. And like, if you can get rid of evidence, you know, where nobody can find it, and you never admit to anything, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there are killers, you know, like look at Ed Kemper. The only reason they ever caught him was because he turned himself in.
Yeah. I'll make you a deal.
Yeah. I mean, like, pretty fucking much. That's the only reason they caught him. And a lot of these serial killers or people who do, you know, some of this shit, as long as they keep their mouths shut, you know, they get rid of the shit.
And like
Cops
a big
don't have
thing
anything to follow.
A big thing in that story was that, you know, the calls and the flashing stopped for a few months.
Yep.
Well, that
and
also
then started again.
Yeah, but that also could be that, you know, that
It could be
police
that there was
presence.
heat on the area, and yeah, that
Or
might
it could be that he got his jollies off and killed her, and then after that wore off, he went back to it.
very well could been, and we won't ever know. I just thought it was a very interesting case, and I, you know, where there was obviously a little bit of mishandling by the police. There was obviously something strange that was going on. that I think people probably should have taken a better look at as it was going on. In this case, I think, not necessarily just the police, just people in general.
Well, during those times, I mean, if you reported a flasher, people would have laughed.
Oh yeah.
That's not a big deal. That's nothing serious. You know, that's just some old pervert. But nowadays, you know, times have changed. People have
Dude,
wised
back in the
up.
day, if some crazy asshole, streaked across a fucking stadium, we'd all laugh.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they arrest them.
They
Yeah.
fucking tackle
Sex
them
offenders
and beat
list.
the fuck out of them and handcuff them and drag them out the fucking field. Is what they
You
do.
know, I mean, sometimes I just have to wonder, like, sometimes has the outrage over things gone too far when it comes to that shit, you know?
But the lax times of the late 70s and early 80s when
I think
flashing was
when
a big thing was
no,
not
I'm
good
not
either.
talking like flashing, like you guys shouldn't be going around.
He's
fucking
talking about like overcorrecting the steering wheel.
Well, that too,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about the overcorrection, which I think is a little too much sometimes. But in this case, like I think if people had just taken a little bit closer of a look at what was going on with whatever was going on with these phone calls and the flasher, whoever the fuck this guy was, maybe this wouldn't have happened. And I'm not saying that it wouldn't have happened. I'm just saying maybe it wouldn't have happened.
Maybe if she had locked the freaking gas station door and called the cops back and said somebody's trying to break in with a gun.
Yeah.
Then maybe the deputies would have showed up, you know?
Yeah. And there's all kinds of things. It goes to that whole thing where there was one time I went into the emergency room and I sat in there forever and ever and ever. And I was having a problem with my breathing, but because I didn't express any concern about any pain in my chest or anything, they just let me sit. Well, one of the nurses told me that. She's like, yeah, you didn't complain about your chest pain or anything.
Always complain about your chest pain.
She's like, if you want to be seen, she's like, you didn't hear this from me, but if you're having trouble breathing, say you have chest pain because they'll get you in quicker.
Chest pain and abdominal pain, they'll take you right back.
Yeah. It's the same thing with, the police. And I hate to say that, but it goes, what's that thing they say about with women if they're being attacked or they're being assaulted, not to cry for help, to yell fire, because people will come around to help when there's a fire.
It's fucked.
Yeah. I mean, it is fucked.
All I know is here in the city, I live in a part of town that there's not a lot of crime, other than like robberies and car break-ins and, just things like that. But whenever I call the police for whatever reason, I always make it out to be a much larger deal than what it actually is.
Yeah.
Because if you just call them and like, oh, I heard a prowler outside, could you send somebody to check? Yeah. That's not working. I called them about a strange vehicle parked in front of my house, and like I thought it was like stolen or something. And it took them like a couple of hours just to send somebody to look at it.
Just mention the word gun, they'll be there.
Yeah, but then you get
might
shot.
have a gun. No.
Yeah.
I think he might have a gun.
Yeah, it treads a very fine line, though. I'm not a fan of that stuff. It should be that you should be able to just say the truth, and they should, it should be that they come to check out the shit.
I suppose it depends.
You get into all kinds of other stuff that goes on. I don't know if I'm getting the chat right anymore. It seems like it stopped.
Mine stopped on Phil.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a problem with sometimes with StreamYard, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know anymore when it comes to stuff like that. So, but moving on.
Well, I saw I'm a big fan of Live PD.
Yeah, you tell me all the time you watch that shit.
Yeah. So like watching it the other night. and they do a wanted segment, just one deal, where they put focus on one person or whatever. This guy was wanted for the murder of his ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
She went to work or something and like never came home. She like dropped her kid off at the babysitter, and that was the last time anybody seen her. He was seen in the area on camera buying a freaking electric chainsaw and large trash bags.
Can
And
you
like,
buy those in a different area?
He's been on the loose for like years now. And I'm just like, geez,
Yeah.
That scares me,
All shapes and sizes, dude.
Yeah. I mean, like anybody can like, obviously hey, I'm doing yard work. I could go to Lowe's and get a chainsaw and some, big yard bags or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just never know.
No, you never know. Well, look at all the, any of the serial killer things that I've ever watched through. Because I've always said that I have a fascination with them. The thing that you always hear is, well, I never knew.
Yeah.
They were always just such a normal guy. I mean, look at Dahmer fucking talked the police into letting an underage guy back into his apartment.
Yeah.
Who he had already drugged. Like, it's fucked up.
Because most of the time that's not the case, so we don't expect it.
Yeah.
We don't expect the next door neighbor to be a serial killer. So like the weird behavior and like the stories that they tell us, the excuses that they make, we don't even know that they're like,
we just
on the defense
like,
telling us a bullshit story to cover up their tracks. We think they're just like
yeah,
kind of weird.
No, dude, that's what you do? Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's Bob. Bob does that shit.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
My neighbor has bags of lye. He's always having to, get rid of roaches and stuff under his house. Like, if you ever need
see him with shovels. But, I mean, you should see the gardening this guy does.
Yeah.
You never, with a lot of it, you just never know. There's just they're way too fucking sly. In a lot of cases. But yeah, moving on to our next missing person case of the night, Jim Sullivan.
Ooh.
Jim Sullivan was an aspiring musician getting his start in the late 1960s. He released his debut album in 1969 entitled UFO.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
The music could be described as hippie rock with dark and cryptic lyrics. Some of his songs show a fascination with UFOs and even about being abducted by aliens. Ooh. He was always on the edge of success, but could never quite make it big. By 1975, he had decided to move from LA to Nashville. On March 4th, 1975, he packed some minimal belongings into his VW Beetle. There you go, Steve.
I like this guy.
And left his wife and son behind.
There you go, Steve.
Here you go, Steve.
Maybe the son, but not the wife.
Planning to start a new life for them there and hopefully catch his big break. Somewhere between LA and New Mexico.
His son's an adult, Matt.
He had been pulled over for swerving in the road. They had released him, deciding he was just tired from driving rather than impaired. He made it to Santa Rosa, New Mexico, and checked into a motel. But it seems he never stayed there. They found his hotel key locked inside the room. He was reported that same evening visiting a liquor store and buying a bottle of vodka and then driving away from town. He eventually drove up to a family ranch, the Giannetti family, who did report having a brief interaction with him. They said he eventually parked off on the edge of their property and began walking towards the desert. From there, he was never seen again. A full-scale search was engaged using multiple area departments exhausting all their resources. His car was found to have all his belongings inside, including his wallet and guitar. A few months after his disappearance, a body was found near the Giannetti Ranch, and everyone expected it to be Jim. However, it was soon reported that it was not. Still to this day, he has never been found, leaving his cryptic lyrics a deepened mystery. Some interesting points on this case. The body that was found was reported to bear all the same features as Jim. Same weight, same height, hair color, mustache, even a similar tattoo. However, despite it being reported not to be Jim's body, there is no official record of whose body it was. There are no official records of police interviewing the Giannetti family, whom the media did confirm had some sort of interaction with him. Some local people of that time accused the Giannetti family of having ties to the mafia, but nothing has ever come of that accusation. Dun, dun, dun. It was old man Giannetti. His car sat for a few weeks on the Giannetti property during the investigation. It was eventually towed away by the police, but there's no record of it ever being checked into any official police impound and no link or clue to where it ended up in the case records. I'd say that one might be a mob thingy-majiggy gone wrong.
What would the mob thing have to do with some musician that's going to Nashville?
Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, he didn't have connections
to
maybe.
He knew somebody that knew them. He was looking for some money, or he's seen something he wasn't supposed to see.
Maybe he pulled up to the wrong ranch.
Pulled up to the wrong ranch at the wrong time, Steve. Shit happens.
So if they found a body that they found a body that matches this guy's description, it's probably that guy. You know, why they say it's not, I don't know. But I mean, even the same fucking tattoo.
Katie, did they say why there's no official record of whose body that is?
No, there's no clue to it. Everything back of that time was very vague, and people who have dove into it in more modern times have not been able to get that information from the police. There's no specifics on it whatsoever.
Huh. That is fucked up. I don't know. I don't know if it was a mob hit, if he fucking went to the wrong place and, like Matt was saying, saw something he shouldn't have seen.
Well, he was known to hang out with a lot of celebrities. He did have a somewhat successful music career, and that did link him in with some interesting people. So,
maybe he was trying to get some coke on his way out to Nashville, and showed up at the house unexpectedly, and they're like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah. Yeah. You never know.
Ed told me to look you guys up. You know?
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck is Ed?
Yeah.
I mean, come on inside. Yeah, we'll look you up.
Yeah. We'll hook you up with a fucking shallow grave in the fucking backyard.
Yeah, but if it was a mob hit, they wouldn't have just left the body near the ranch, though. They would have disposed of that body a lot better than that.
Yeah,
because obviously
you never know though. Back then, Steve, they didn't give a shit, and obviously nothing ever came of it. You know,
yeah, they have local law enforcement, but
something was going on. It kind of sounds like, I mean, it's just speculation that they had mob connections, but
or aliens abducted Jim and tried to plant a fake body.
Yeah, they planted Pod Jim.
That must be what it is.
That's what it is, Steve. I'm down.
Yeah,
I'm down with it, Steve. You down with it?
I told you the dog tattoo was smoking a joint, not a cigar.
They did say similar tattoo.
Yeah, what's a similar tattoo?
Same location on his forearm.
Oh, that's probably the fucking same guy.
Yeah, it has to be.
I got that feeling.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably the guy. I'd say probably something shady happened. Matt's probably right. He probably fucking wound up hearing fucking somebody had some drugs. He went out there, asked for some fucking drugs or something, and they were like, no.
Well, today's your lucky day. See that desert right there? You just walk.
Yeah, there's some drugs out there. Go with Paco here.
I don't think his name was Paco, but whatever.
I don't give a shit. Whatever.
Antonio, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Some strange shit. The last story that we have for tonight, gentlemen, is the Kenny Veach. Kenny Veach. It's an interesting name. And the M Cave.
Ooh, that sounds like a band.
Yeah, it does. Kenny Veach was a 47-year-old solo hiker and explorer of the Mojave and Great Basin deserts of Nevada and California.
Then he deserves to disappear.
There you go. That what,
If you're
127
gonna
hours?
hike, you just deserve to.
Kenny Veach, you're lucky, you just disappeared. You didn't have to fucking cut your arm off.
Yeah, it's kind of like those people like, what do you like to do? Oh, I'm a cave diver. Fuck off.
I go spelunking. He was considered reckless, going out without any GPS. Yeah, fuck you, dude. Going without any GPS
Okay,
maps.
now I'm on Matt. Now I'm on Matt's side.
Yeah, so am I. Or other necessary equipment. If I go hiking in the woods, I take a fucking map of the area standard. Oh,
I explore deserts with no water.
Yeah, it's what I do. He was a cave and old mine shaft enthusiast, always exploring any little nook or cranny he could find in the desert. He was active in the YouTube community, sharing his experiences. His story truly starts with this comment on another user's video. And this is his comment. This ain't nothing. I am a long distance hiker. One time during one of my hikes out by Nellis Air Force Base, I found a hidden cave. The entrance to the cave was shaped like a perfect capital M. I always enter every cave I find, but as I began to enter this particular cave, my whole body began to vibrate. The closer I got to the cave entrance, the worse the vibrating became. Suddenly, I became very scared and hightailed it out of there. That was one of the strangest things that ever happened to me. This comment sparked some curiosity, which led Kenny to upload videos of his return hikes to find that M cave again. He was fascinated with his own fear, never having felt that kind of fear in a cave before. He posted videos of 2 separate trips looking for it, but without success. He planned a third trip and offered for fellow hikers in his online community to join him with this comment on his own video. The region that I cover is vast. There are many caves. I have been in hundreds of them. The M cave is the only cave I ever feared. I dare any of the people that like to run their mouths on here to join me, but no one did. Several commenters, though, did warn against him returning. He left on the morning of November 10th, 2014, and was never seen again. His girlfriend reported him missing after a few days, and search and rescue was engaged. They did find his cell phone on a rock near a mine shaft. They searched the shaft extensively, but he was not in there. Ground and air searches all turned up nothing. He seemingly just vanished without a trace. Some interesting points in this case. Kenny did not take his camera with him on this third trip, which was odd since he did like to post the videos of his exploration, especially after the curiosity of this specific cave. He also did not take any sleeping gear with him, which was especially odd because he had stated that it was a 10-hour hike to get where he first found this cave, but his family confirms he often took 2-day hikes without any camping gear. Basic speculations believe he could have been bitten by a rattlesnake, fallen down a mine shaft, ran into foul play by drug dealers or other criminals, or planned his own disappearance or suicide. His girlfriend strongly believes he committed suicide. Interesting. The area of this M cave is north of Las Vegas and between 3 military bases, one being Area 51. Ooh.
Oh, he wandered into the wrong place.
Yeah,
That's what
this leads some to believe he could have stumbled upon a government experiment area and was eliminated for what he saw. The government is currently trying to take over this same area of the desert to block off access to the public and absorb the land into their military bases.
He's been
specifically
Clinton-sided.
Area 51. That very well could be. Yeah. Web sleuths are actively still exploring this area looking for Kenny. YouTube user Libera Sean leads the charge, posting updates and putting together group expeditions to search. He claims to have found the cave Kenny had called the M Cave and has posted a video of his hike there.
Excuse
me. in July 2019. He is still active on the case, posting as recently as October this year. And this is a map of the area. Share.
That's a crazy big area, though.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. I mean, obviously you got your Air Force bases, but
Yeah.
it's desert.
Yeah, it's just fucking, it's desert out there. It's a lot of desert.
It goes on forever.
Yeah.
I think he's been suicided. I think that's what
I think that's probably the
suicide by proxy. Maybe.
I think that if his girlfriend's saying that she's more than likely thinks it was suicide, then that's probably the case.
But why would he have invited people to go with him? Obviously they didn't go.
Well, maybe was the nail in the coffin for him. I don't know.
Maybe he felt worthless.
To answer Bad Gaming 69, didn't you say the coroners don't need qualifications in the USA? Yes, as a matter of fact, we did. In some places, they do not. They get voted in. Yeah. I mean, this one seems kind of a little weird, but not too crazy.
It's crazy because of where he's at.
All right, what'd you miss?
How do they know he went there?
He said that's where he was going. That was the area that he'd been searching in.
People say a lot of shit on YouTube.
That's correct. Yeah, that absolutely.
That day or anything.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they did find his. They found his cell phone. Correct. Let me go back up.
And his car. His car was out there too.
Yeah, out in that area. So yeah, there was some evidence at least to say that he was in that area. At least that area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but you're right. You're absolutely right. People say fucked up shit, and people will say anything. I agree with that completely. This one doesn't seem like all that much of a. I mean, I like it, but I don't think it's that much of a strange.
Most of the strangeness is centered around the fact that it's near Groom Lake,
Area 51. Yeah.
Well, but he didn't take his camera, and
that is odd
because he's a YouTuber. He's going to take his camera.
I mean, that's what makes me kind of think more towards the suicide end of it.
Yeah.
And he thought like to do it and make a legend of himself in the process, but maybe.
Yeah. Well, he did seem, just by the posts that you read, seemed a little full of himself.
Oh yeah.
And so
a lot of those guys are.
He would want to feel like a legend or something like that. But he perhaps, if he did commit suicide out there, he figured he'd probably be found too,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he did it on purpose so he couldn't be found, to make it more of a mystery,
Maybe the girlfriend killed him.
That could be too. Maybe she had something to do with it.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe she had something to do with it.
But she wasn't with him.
She's the only one saying anything about the suicide.
Yeah, but she also lived with him and would know what his real true emotions were.
You got two sides to that. You got the side that she could have known that side of him, and then she's got that insight. That's true. But you also have that maybe there was a problem and she wanted to get rid of him. It is a possibility.
She had made a big long post about how he had quit his job about a month before the incident, and that he was very obsessed with that cave, but also in a very dark place. So what she says does make sense, but there is a lot of speculation too about her, that she's even speaking out about it. So
yeah, but how would she have got out there? You would assume they would have went in the same car, unless she followed him or something.
She was known to go hiking with him quite often. He did go by himself a lot, but they did go together quite often. So she was even familiar with the area that his cell phone was found in.
So if his car was found and his cell phone was found, how did she get back if she's the one that did it?
In her car.
You're not going to walk out of
taking
there.
a separate car.
Yeah, that's the only way she would have.
she didn't report him missing for, I think, 3 days.
Well,
Which-
here's the thing. If she took a separate vehicle, like him not having his camera on him could also be explained. Like she could have taken it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a possibility, sure.
You know, I mean, I'm not like trying to lay blame on this chick or anything, but those are possibilities.
Well, she wouldn't have reported him missing if he goes out for several days at a time. She wouldn't have
Right.
reported him missing. For a
Right.
few
Like
days.
his family said that he normally goes on like 2-day
Yeah.
hikes with no gear whatsoever.
You ain't getting any cell service out in the middle of the fucking desert.
Yeah, no. You might catch it here and there, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. It's a wacky one, that's for sure.
Let's go find him.
Yeah, let's go in the desert,
It
man.
actually does sound. I want to find that damn cave.
Well,
The
there
MP?
is a guy that claims to have found it, and
Yeah, on YouTube.
I watched his shit today, and I don't necessarily buy
You
it
don't think
all.
he found it?
Well, the thing about it is that he found it, but it's been covered up. It's been like sealed up, and he claims that basically the government came and covered up this cave, and you can see where rocks have been sealed together, and he got sick while he was out there, and it was kind of hokey, but also kind of fascinating. So,
Well, if there was some sort of government experiment going on in that particular cave, and why would it be shaped like an M? I don't know, but you would assume that they would want to cover that up because he's exposed it now. It's been out on the internet, you know.
right.
So they would have to cover it, but I don't know. I haven't seen the videos, so I don't know what the evidence actually looks like.
Yeah, I'd have to take a look at it myself, but I mean, it's all just, yeah. Yeah, that one, like I said, that one, I tend to think he probably stumbled into an area he shouldn't have been in. Like,
It's a
probably
possibility.
either that or he decided, fuck it, or something happened to him. Like they're saying, he got bit by a rattlesnake, fell down, fucking whatever. The girlfriend theory thing, there's a couple of different directions you can go with that one. I mean,
What kind of bad luck do you have to be standing next to a mine shaft and get bit by a rattlesnake at the same time and fall in the damn thing?
people get struck by lightning, Steve.
Just
One of our guests in the chat room says he hung himself, and that we're doing our research in the fiction section.
Well, is there evidence that he's hung himself?
Yeah, where's the evidence, Mr. Charles Robertshung?
No, if you have evidence of that, we'll say.
Where's your evidence that he hung himself? We'll correct
Because-
it right now.
Obviously, they haven't found the guy. I mean,
Katie's pretty good at this shit. I'm sure if he,
I just like how we're discussing, shit found on the internet and like different, missing cases, but we're the ones being blamed for making the shit.
by the way, Charles, the internet is the fiction section. The entire thing. For the most part.
Yeah. But dude, I mean, if you've got the information, throw it out.
It's signed, sealed, and delivered that he hung himself. Poor bastard.
And he says what? Steve is scared of the cotton ball monster, but not a cave. Makes sense. What? How does that fucking help us, Charles?
I do not like cotton balls. You're right. And I do not like caves either. I just want to find it. I don't want to go in the fucking thing.
Well,
Wants to
Katie
see if
told
he
you can watch the guy's
vibrates.
videos. Yeah. He wants to check out the vibrating cave. So do women across America.
What's this guy's name? We'll Google it real quick and use the word hung himself and see if it comes up on the internet. What's his name?
Kenny Veach.
Kenny
with a
Veach.
V.
Veach, Steve.
VEE.
VEA.
AC.
Hold on, I'm hacking into the police database. I don't want to give you false information.
Here's a crisisforum.org. We'll go see what they say about it.
Crisis forum.
Oh, yeah. If I dressed up in that outfit, I'd hang myself too.
There you go. You do dress up in an outfit that you should hang yourself in.
So he's not been found. How do we know he hung himself? I mean, everything I'm seeing right here says they're still looking for him.
Yeah.
So
Charles, eat a dick. If that is your preference, stuff your face in a wet vagina.
oh,
Either or, whichever is more disgusting to you. Fucking douche.
And from here on out, we'll only research on Reddit.
Yeah. Everything will be in memes.
Yeah.
So you can fucking understand it.
4chan or nothing.
Fucking god damn it.
I'm trying to find a more legitimate news source for this, but as far as I can tell, he's never been found.
Listen, I trust Katie.
Yeah, I
So
do
am
too.
I think fucking dickhead here, Charles is.
Here's his profile on Facebook.
Charles?
Kenny's. Oh, that's a different Kenny B.
I don't think we should do that, Steve.
We're gonna fucking dox Charles.
He dressed up like Adam Davies a lot.
Yeah.
With the hat and the safari.
He was a desert explorer. What do you expect?
Well, yeah, what do you expect? I'm sure there's a soon to be divorced
If you go
woman in
exploring
California
into
who would date him.
barren caves, they're hot and dry, tend to dress like that.
Is that like standard? I mean, is it required? Because I don't want to dress up like Adam Davies.
Steve,
Of course, I'm not going to go
the entire
exploring
point
either.
of everything I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over.
I wasn't talking about geographical locations.
Anywho, I'm gonna wrap this up tonight, gentlemen.
Oh.
The downward spiral.
The downward spiral. It started with dickhead Charles. This has been the Fortean Slip, ladies and gentlemen, episode 111. If you like this shit, hit the little thumbs up button. If you don't, hit the little thumbs down button. Leave a comment. Subscribe. Check out our good friend, Mr. Matt Knapp, at youtube.com/bigfootcrossroads and Cryptid Tales. Check us out at anchor.fm/the Fortean Slip. Usually the shows are posted downloadable a little bit after the show is done being live. Check out Richard Allen's comic strip, Bigfootin' with Keith and Colin, on Facebook. He always says he's got some new storyline going on. Check him out. Check out Phil Poling over at Pair Breakdown, youtube.com/Pair Breakdown. Check out Dred Funn at dredfun.com and youtube.com/Dred Funn. Fred is pounding the cons, doing the work. And check out our guest from last week, Bronx Johnny, who will make his return to the show. I talked to Johnny over Thanksgiving, and he does want to come back on the show. You can check him out over at Gas Digital. The link is, for those of you listening on the podcast, I have it up on the screen on YouTube. It is posted on the show that he was on. I will have Johnny on again for sure. And next week we will supposed to have Mr. Steve Culls.
Again?
Yep. To talk about Miss Linda Newton Perry. So join us next week for that. I will confirm with Steve this week during the week to make sure. Until then, see ya!